this is Jenna Zwiggel, the ex-wife of Josh Zwiggel, who is the founder and CEO of My Daily Choice and, by extension, HempWorks. Jenna co-founded HempWorks with Josh after she was diagnosed with celiac disease and claims that nothing was helping her symptoms. Not dietary changes, not lifestyle changes, not Western medicine, nothing. Until she found CBD, and this prompted her to start up HempWorks as a branch off of My Daily Choice, which she built and ran for about 10 years.
Hi, we're gonna do makeup today.
But poor Jenna, her luck has certainly run out because her and Josh are getting a divorce. I don't know how long they were married, but they met in 2014, and it seems like it was a bit of a messy situation. Actually, honestly, I feel like their whole relationship is really messy from what we know about it. But basically, yeah, she was pretty much kicked out of HempWorks, you know, the company she helped start with her husband Josh, and now she's on to some new adventures that are wild. Like, literally, we're going to watch some clips of a Zoom call today where Jenna literally says that, like, growing plants in dirt and soil is bad. We should not be doing that. Yeah, I'm not kidding, dude. She's on some wild shit. So before we jump into it, basically what she's doing is starting her own, not an MLM, I mean, she's adding an MLM into this mix, but she's kind of trying to start her own, like, empire. It sounds so sketchy, so scammy, so weird. She's suddenly under the impression that plants can't grow on the ground anymore. You know, it's just... It's a lot. It's a lot to go over. So before we jump into it, please make sure you're liking and subscribing. I'm still crawling up towards 100,000 subscribers here, so if you could make sure you hit that dang button, help me out. Help me get there, please. Thank you. And now here we go. So actually, this whole situation has been on my radar for, I don't know, quite a few weeks actually, because one of you guys sent me a message not that long ago. You wanted to remain anonymous, so I got you. But basically, you just kind of filled me in that Jenna basically got kicked out of the My Daily Choice empire. But now what I've discovered, since that news was given to me, I suppose, I've been just kind of like observing what Jenna's been up to, and she started posting like links to Zoom calls and stuff. I recorded one this morning, and that's where I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. This is wild for a lot of reasons. But the company that the Zoom call that I am going to share with you guys today, it's like a new hemp MLM, which she claims isn't an MLM. We'll get to that, but it totally is an MLM. It's like we've never heard an MLMer say that before. Weird. But that's only one part of it. She's also starting, well, I guess like the whole empire she's trying to start now is just called JennaZ. Her name is Jenna Zwiggel. Like, oh, okay, wow. So creative. But it's this hemp MLM company we're going to talk about. It's also a Bitcoin, like, crypto trading, go freaking figure. Of course, every, in my opinion, scammer always has to do something with crypto. She's, like, trying to release her own crypto coin called BAE, B-A-E. And her Facebook group for it is literally called Bitcoin is Bae. I know, I can't. Why are all of these hemp-based companies so fucking cringe? Not that Bitcoin has anything to do with hemp, but it's all intertwined. But like, who calls their crypto shit that? Bitcoin is Bae. The fuck? So cringe. I hate it. I hate it so much. But anyway, yeah, she's trying to launch her own coin token or something. So she's doing that, and then she also, the third part to her little empire that she's trying to build is like coaching. And so her big thing is energy, because BAE, B-A-E, in her mind stands for built around energy, is what BAE stands for. She's a hippie, but like not one of the good kind of hippies, like one of the really super annoying and obnoxious kind of hippies where she's just like, I'm feeling the energy. I'm gonna trade this crypto when the energy fields tell me it's gonna be a good time to trade it and shit. Like, I don't know much about her coaching, but I can imagine it probably has to do with some hippie energy type shit, and it's just a lot. So I do want to cover all of this stuff. There's a lot here. So the first thing I want to go through today is I found this old video from like 8 years ago of Josh and Jenna kind of like telling their story, like, how did we meet, how did we start HempWorks, blah blah blah. And there are so many red flags. One of my first deep dives I ever did on this channel was on HempWorks, and I'm like, I had to have watched this video back then when I did it, right? Like, I had to. I'm like, how could I have watched this and not pointed out all these red flags, you know? Like, their whole relationship has been built around just like distrust and like really unusual circumstances, all involving multi-level marketing. I'm gonna skip to a part in the middle here where they talk about how they met, and you guys can see exactly what I freaking mean.
I actually went to another company convention, and it was at the convention that I decided that I didn't want to be involved in network marketing anymore. And it was also the same month that I met Josh. We met on the internet through the network marketing industry, and I was just getting out of the industry and was getting ready to sell marketing systems. And he happened to be the guy that was selling marketing systems. So I signed up through one of his deals and I didn't get paid.
Okay, whoa. That last part right before I pause is the whole thing. What the hell is she talking about? One of his deals? And then she like laughs about it? That sounds sketchy. That sounds like a sketchy thing. Also, she's like, I didn't get paid for it. Well, yeah, when you join anything involving network marketing, your chances of actually making any money are slim to none, you know? So like, it's odd that she would admit that in like a video marketing her MLM. And also, as far as I'm concerned, like kind of outing Josh as being nasty, as being like a scammer, being like, I signed up for Josh's thing and I never made any money. Okay.
I had all of my following cancel their subscription to his products, and that's how he knew about me, is because he saw, who is this girl that's referring all these people and having all these people cancel? So he reached out to me and said, hey, you're in Baltimore, we should meet.
And then I saw like she was like really attractive as well, and I was like, maybe I should meet her and like try to like work things out with the system and see if I can, you know, smooth things over. So
no, stop it. So basically what you're telling me is Jenna joined one of his little startup things. Sounds like it was like a wannabe MLM type of thing from over 10 years ago that was busy scamming everybody, just like MLMs do in my opinion. And she wasn't making any money, so she took her followings. Like, why do these people have followings? Who the fuck follows these people and goes, I'm gonna do everything they tell me to do? Especially after following Jenna into some obscure marketing system MLM type thing and then like not making any money, and then she tells everyone to leave, and it's like, why would you stick around after that, you know? So he's just like, wow, she's hot. I'm gonna sink my teeth into her. And he reaches out to her to be like, under the disguise of like, I see that you and a bunch of people left my company, let's smooth things over. His real intention was because she was hot, so he's like, gotta get in on that. Meanwhile, her thing was like the CEO of what I just signed up for, the scam of what I just signed up for, which at this point Josh Zwiggel was known for. He was at the top of some other company, I don't remember which one it was, some old obscure company, I don't even know if it exists anymore, but he had a team of like 60,000 people. He was super successful in network marketing. So I feel like she would know who he was, what he was about, what his past is, and that he probably had a lot of money. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth or jump to conclusions, but it sounds to me like Josh saw a pretty girl and he had an excuse to go and talk to her, and then she saw a rich CEO who wanted to talk to her, and she's just like, fine, okay, let's do it. And this is how they met. Then they got married, and now they're getting divorced. Shocking.
He invited me for coffee.
yeah, for coffee first.
So as I was pulling up to the Starbucks where we were gonna meet, and he gives me a call and says, yeah, I don't drink coffee, but I'll meet you for dinner.
And she's like,
And
that escalated
It's like,
quickly.
wow. Like,
I knew right then and there that my whole life was going to change. You could just kind of feel like that connection when you first see someone and you're like, oh my God, like I need to be with that person.
Because you thought she was pretty and you had money and you were like, my life's about to change because I'm about to swindle my way into this poor woman's life. I don't know. We shouldn't feel bad for Jenna because, as we should know, HempWorks was very successful and it's very obvious that she made a lot of money. She is very well off. She's at the point now where she don't need no man. So yeah, it's not worth feeling bad for Jenna, but like I am getting the creepiest creep vibes from Josh.
And then all I wanted to do was hear her story and learn everything about her.
All I wanted to do was learn everything about a person because you saw her picture on Facebook and you thought she was pretty. Why are men?
the rest is history, I guess, but that's how we met.
What's funny too is when she was telling me her story and she's telling me about like all these bad experiences she's had in network marketing, I told her, hey, listen, I'm actually thinking about launching my own network marketing company, and you were like shocked.
I
You're
said,
like,
have fun with that. I'll watch from the sidelines. And he's like, it's funny you should say that because I really need you to join, actually, and be an affiliate and go get
she was
them.
like my greatest recruit. basically begging her to join the business, like, come on.
Let's just add a little bit more onto the dumpster fire here. Not only did he want to meet up with her because he thought she was pretty, he also was like, I'm gonna date her and then convince her to join My Daily Choice, because he was launching My Daily Choice. And she made it clear to him she had no interest in joining another MLM. And he's like, but don't you love me? And convinced her to join. Like, what a manipulative douchebag. This is what happens when the wrong people make money, you know? He's gross. Josh grosses me out. And from a woman to woman perspective, I'm glad she got out of this relationship, because I guarantee that there's so much more like manipulation going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And there's gonna be people commenting on this and being like, wow, Savannah, like, why are you judging someone else's relationship? You don't even know. I'm sorry. How can you listen to this guy talk and not be like, girl, run. Run and never look back. I don't care how much money this dude has. Go. Again, things worked out for her. She's well off on her own now and doesn't need any relationship, but I guess at least she got that out of it. But yeah, I mean, Jenna's no angel either. We'll get into all that.
I changed my mind about network marketing after hearing his story, because it was the first time I had met somebody that actually did it right, that actually had a proven track record, that had documentation more than just conversation.
What do you mean he did it right? What do you mean he did it right? How is My Daily Choice any different from any other MLM? I'm sorry. It's just not. I'm gonna skip through this part and get to, because now he's just gonna talk up how great My Daily Choice is. I want to skip to the part where they talk about HempWorks, because that goes into the history of Jenna, and she generally is the topic of this video. So here we go.
My wife Jen got sick with celiac disease, and at the time we had just relocated out here to Las Vegas.
I remember sitting in the doctor's office and having them tell me, what you have is incurable. We can't cure you, but we can run a bunch of tests. And I just remember thinking, no thanks, I'm out of here.
Jen got her medical marijuana card here in Las Vegas and started to experiment with CBD oil and different cannabis products.
So I wasn't actually sold on CBD being effective for anything at first. And it wasn't until Josh partnered with a farm in Kentucky where we got the samples straight off the farm that I began to start using these products, and it transformed my whole life within like a week. HempWorks started because of my conviction to get the products out to everyone else, because if they can work for me, I knew that they could work for everybody else.
So we're supposed to believe you walked out of a doctor's office because they wanted to run tests on you, which that's what doctors do. That's how they help diagnose you and figure out a treatment plan. Whatever, that's your choice, okay? That is your daily choice, to walk out of Western medicine and try something else. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that CBD is not effective for people with all these different health conditions, because it is. There's a lot of promising research surrounding CBD, even THC at this point. Like, there are a lot of health benefits that can come from using the substances, I suppose. But what she's saying is she was buying products from a dispensary that, you know, is government regulated, quality is insured in situations like this. Now, I used to have my medical marijuana card back before it was recreationally legal in Arizona where I live. It's all legal now. Anyone can go into a dispensary and buy it, but dispensaries are the same they've always been generally. Like, not much has really changed, but the whole point is that like government regulated cannabis is safer than just like buying it from some dealer on the street. Her whole thing is like, I was buying it from dispensaries and it just didn't do anything. It didn't work. It didn't work for me at all. But this one special little farm in Kentucky, somehow they had the magic plant that could heal everything. Like, we have the magic plant. You go to a dispensary, it's not the same. It's not good stuff. But this magic plant in this one farm in Kentucky, this is the one. Please. Now, this whole thing is wild too, because what we're going to get into, this new company, this new hemp company, they don't get their shit from that farm. And she's gonna start talking shit about HempWorks and their quality and stuff. It's just so wild to watch narratives change the way they do. Suddenly, something that she spent a decade of her life building and promoting, once that's over, suddenly it's like, well, there was this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem, and she just keeps going on and on. And it's like, how come none of this bothered you before? Now it's just suddenly, now that they don't want anything to do with you and they don't want you in the company anymore, now suddenly you want to tell all your grievances? Okay. But also, it's just like, in the first place, everything that you're saying is just it's such bullshit. You're gonna try to sit here and say that this one particular farm has the special magic cannabis. Girl, please.
And she said, we need to launch these products. and I'm gonna do it with or without you. And
He
that
said
was
no.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not launching
And I
these.
said, fine.
Yeah, I can't launch these products like out of thin air. Thanks to Jen for coming up with such an incredible.
Divine inspiration.
Yeah, because no one had CBD products at all before Jen started HempWorks, huh? Okay, well that's quite enough of that. There's a article that they wrote about Jenna on Business for Home after she left My Daily Choice, and it kind of gives us sort of an idea of wild little empire she's trying to build for herself now that we're going to be going over today. After I plop these eyelashes on. Jenna Zwiggel launches JennaZ, a frequency-first movement in wealth, wellness, and wisdom. Frequency first? What? Anyway, she announced the official launch of JennaZ, a revolutionary personal brand ecosystem rooted in energetic alignment and conscious success. So after leaving HempWorks, she's turning her full focus towards a frequency-first model of entrepreneurship, helping others align, launch, and lead through wealth, wellness, and wisdom. Jiminy Christmas. This brand is about alignment, not hustle. I believe the future of success is built on frequency. Girl, what does that mean? What does that mean? Sign up and find out? No, please help us a little bit here, because that makes zero sense. Okay, so she got diagnosed in 2014 with celiac, which led her to explore plant-based healing, ultimately discovering cannabis, which became the foundation of her wellness mission. In April 2025, Zwiggel exited My Daily Choice, the company she helped build, and finalized her divorce. Rather than viewing it as an end, she calls the transition a full circle return to alignment. The JennaZ platform, energy-aligned entrepreneurship. And you know what? Saying that out loud, I'm wondering if she's like trying to market towards Gen Z, you know what I mean? Like younger people. I mean, I get that her name is JennaZ, but like could be a intentional decision, I guess. Anyway, the JennaZ brand is a 3-pillar platform combining wealth, Bitcoin is Bay, a crypto education and trading community where Zwiggel teaches her signature Bay strategy built around energy, calls trades, and prepares for the launch of the Bay token in July. So she's literally like, hey guys, give me all this money and I'll teach you how to trade when the energy tells me that we should trade. You're just literally paying because you trust this woman. I can't. Wellness, Reaction. Now, Reaction is the MLM that she's joining, that she says isn't an MLM, but it totally is an MLM, and we'll get into that, but Reaction is what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the actual company. A science-forward hemp brand featuring aeroponic cultivation, aka cultivating hemp floating in the air and not in soil, because soil apparently is bad to grow plants in now if you're Jenna. It's just insane. And proprietary FCETM technology delivering clean, energetically aligned plant-based products. My understanding is that she doesn't have any like actual stake in Reaction unless she like signed some kind of wild bridge contract or something. My understanding was she just joined this MLM as an affiliate or a distributor, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, again, what do you mean energetically aligned? Like, what does this mean? There's so many red flags. And then wisdom, manifestation mastery, and the aligned upline. Personal growth and leadership programs inspired by her mentorship with Bob Proctor. Oh my God, I know that name. That's a big name. I just don't remember exactly what he's known for. Designed to help others reprogram their minds and rise in business. Because, you know, as humans, all we are just little machines that need to be programmed. At the core of JennaZ is a powerful AI-powered business system that allows anyone to launch their dream business with ease and automation. She has an ambassador program. She has 2 best-selling books, which, like, I feel like that has lost, like, all meaning. Anytime anyone says they're a bestseller, unless it's, like, New York Times bestseller, then I'm just like, bestseller where? Like, show us the statistics. It sounds like anyone can be a bestseller. Anyway, this is more than a brand. She says it's a collective frequency shift. Okay, so now the meat and potatoes of all of this is the Zoom call I saw today. I snuck in and recorded it, and for the sake of time, I am going to speed it up just a little bit. Oh yeah, by the way, if you didn't notice, she's got dreads now, so we got a white girl with cultural appropriation up in here. Anyway, I know people are gonna mention that, so I just wanted to throw it out there. I see it too.
I want to just share just a few things, how I came in really in touch with this amazing brand. I mean, honestly, it just felt kind of God sent. After I was leaving my last company, I don't know if I sent the magic signal out or what, but it fell into my lap and it couldn't have been any better alignment, honestly, and better timing. So I'm very excited to share with you guys why this product is the best out there currently on the market today.
Just as a reminder, she is the founder and I guess like very high up in management of HempWorks up until very recently. And up until just a few months ago, she was saying that HempWorks is the best on the market. You can't beat HempWorks because you know that farm in Kentucky. And then she leaves and now suddenly it's like, oh, this is the best on the market. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that your products you were selling before haven't changed in the past 2 months. Also, I am going to be cutting out some of this presentation because some of it is just like irrelevant. I really want to get to the juicy stuff, and there is a lot of it in the Zoom call.
Basically, my wellness wake-up call was in 2014. So this is when I was diagnosed with celiac disease, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a rare autoimmune disorder that's triggered by eating gluten. Now, I actually have a testimony that I haven't shared yet, but I 2 weeks ago, I ate a whole flour tortilla taco, y'all. And normally I could time this out and I could think, okay, in 2 hours, I'm gonna be very sick. Like wherever I'm at, I need to get home. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be literally throwing up. It's gonna be a nightmare. That's what having celiac disease is like.
Okay, so here's my question. I don't have celiac disease, and I'm sure there's people in this audience who do. Celiac disease affects 1% of the population, which is millions of people, like hundreds of millions of people, I'm pretty sure. So it's very likely that there's someone in here who also struggles with it. You tell me, if you have celiac disease and you know that your body is going to react so intensely to eating a flour tortilla, why would you eat it? If you know what this is what it's like to have celiac disease, and dude, I'm sorry, but like, and excuse me for being naive about this because I don't know what foods contain gluten. Like I know bread and stuff generally does, like pasta and all that. But like, if you're eating Mexican food and you have celiac disease, wouldn't you opt for like a corn tortilla instead? Is there gluten in corn? I don't fucking know. Have a burrito bowl. Like put it in a bowl. A taco salad. I don't know. Like if you know that your body does not digest gluten well, why would you go out of your way and eat an entire fucking taco made out of a taco shell that is just like gluten galore? I don't get it. Why would you do that to yourself? But anyway, she's gonna sit here and tell us that like, oh no, I'm fine. Thanks to this product, thanks to CBD. And I'm sorry, again, I don't know of any scientific evidence to say that hemp, cannabis, THC, CBD, whatever you want to say, effectively treats celiac disease. I know that cannabis can be good for a lot of things, like pain management and sleep disorders and nausea and like appetite and stuff like that. Like I know it's good for all that. Never in my life have I ever heard anyone be like, if you can't eat gluten, it's totally fine. Just take some CBD and then you can eat all the flour tortillas you want. I don't think that's a thing.
I had a bottle of reaction with me in my bag and I was like, you know what, let's just see what happens. So after I ate that taco, which I knew was going to destroy me, I took 4 capsules, took it with a glass of water, and I was like, okay, let's just see what happens. If nothing happens to me and I don't get sick, this is insane. Like, this is insane. So that's exactly what happened. Took 4 capsules, waited about 15, 20 minutes. I could tell my stomach was like a little sketched out about what I had been eating, but I had no issues at all, didn't throw up, nothing happened to me. So I ate literally fully gluten with celiac disease and absolutely nothing negative happened to me. So just wanted to share that quick story. So anyway, it's been a battle since 2014. I've been changing my diet. I've been exercising, trying all the different cannabises and CBDs and THCs and everything out there, looking for solutions. But this is really when I was face to face with Western medicine and they really didn't have any answers for me. So I decided to go look into what was the best cannabis I could find. And hemp really changed everything for me. So this led me into connecting with Kentucky Farms, which led me to founding the company that I was with prior. And I spent the last, 7-8 years building that company and taking the products. And it was absolutely life-changing. However, there is so much more to hemp than I realized even back then. When I built that company, I went off of the information that I had at the time, right? I had all the current information, so I thought.
See, this is what happens when people who are not educated in the products they're selling, in the industry that they're selling products in, when you're not educated in this kind of stuff, this is what happens. I was just going off what someone told me, basically, is what I'm hearing. I was just going off by, what I found on the internet. It's like, you probably should not be running a CBD company then. If you don't know that there's other shit out there, you just, tried a thing and you were like, this is good, just gonna stick with this. And then she did it for, what did she say, 8 years or whatever? She ran HempWorks for that long and never furthered her education on the topic, never even bothered looking into the science, the statistics, the research. Like, she didn't do any of that. And now the moment she's kicked out of it, she's like, oh, well, actually, there's like all this other stuff that I never knew about. Why would anyone trust these people? I'm telling you, every single MLM that is popping up out here, these people are just like white labeling. I'm not saying this about, what is this, Reaction or whatever this company is called. I don't know much about them. We're learning. But like, take Nueva, for example. Like, these new companies are popping up and they just like white label shit. They don't know anything about it. They're like, well, there's like some studies that say it works, so let's just sell it and tell everyone it works without like knowing anything about it. That's a problem. I'm sorry, that is a huge issue. This is why MLM companies, I personally believe, should not be trusted, because a lot of them do this shit. They don't know formulations, they don't know what they're selling, they don't know science, they don't know any of this shit, they don't know anything about anatomy, the human body, diseases, disease control, they don't know any of this shit. They're just like, I like this thing, let's sell it. Like, that's it. Why would you trust that? Why would you sign on to that? And then it gets even worse, because then you have the distributors just regurgitating all the shit that the founders are saying, and they don't know what they're talking about either. So it's just like, just so much misinformation. And if there's allegedly something better out there, that sounds like it's a you issue, Jenna. Like, that sounds like you didn't do your homework.
And it wasn't until I met this company that I really understood way more about hemp, and honestly, the practices that are happening and the quality control and everything that's happening right now in the hemp industry, which is light years behind where it needs to be.
She ran a hemp-based multi-million-dollar company, and she's like, I'm just gonna sit here and admit right now I had no idea what I was doing.
The problem with the problem with wellness in general is that we are treating symptoms. We're not treating the whole body. And Dr. Thurman Lee used to say this, he was a doctor from the healing arts back in the 1930s. The body and the mind are one and the same. You can't treat one without the other. But also, you can't treat just symptoms in your body. You have to treat your whole body if you want it to function, the right way.
Isn't that like the definition of what functional medicine is? Which a lot of functional medicine is pseudoscience. I'm not saying all of it, because I think there are some parts of functional medicine that aren't all quack science, that are backed by evidence, but for the most part, a lot of functional medicine shouldn't be trusted, because it's just quack bullshit, pseudoscience, nothing.
So here's the dark side of hemp. I'm a hippie, like y'all have dreadlocks. I'm a gardener, like I have a greenhouse.
For the record, especially white people, from one white person to another, you do not have to have dreadlocks to be a hippie. Just say.
So I'm not afraid of dirt. I'm not afraid of soil. I never thought in a million years I would be saying that soil is not the way to go when it comes to growing hemp. Because it's so natural, it grows in hemp. But the problem is what hemp does to soil is it sucks all the heavy metals out of it, and then now it's in the plant. And it does clean the soil. It does a lot of great things for the soil. But you're getting so many contaminants when you're growing it outside. So growing outside is actually not the best way to cultivate hemp. Also, there's pesticides, there's dirty labs, there's bugs, y'all. There's bugs. We're going to talk about bugs too in a little bit here.
Okay, actually, that is something I wanted to talk about. The whole bugs, pesticides, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I personally have had friends, like I know people personally who work for, I guess, the agricultural production of local dispensaries. This one particular friend of mine, he used to go into work every day and post stories of his workplace, and it's all indoors. First of all, we live in Arizona. Things generally don't grow very well here, especially not all year round. In the summer, everything just dies. You really have to grow this stuff indoors, but then I guess if you're anywhere else, it would freeze over the winter, so it's probably pretty normal for dispensaries to produce their products in an indoor facility. So when that's the case, I can imagine, I don't know for sure, but I can't imagine you would really need pesticides if you're growing in a controlled environment indoors, you know what I mean? I would imagine that the soil they use probably isn't loaded with heavy metal. I don't know, especially when, in a lot of places anyway, medical marijuana is what's legal. So in a medical setting or a medical purpose, I guess, for these products, you wouldn't be pumping people full of heavy metals, I guess. That's just how I look at it, but I don't know if that's true. All I know is that I know people who have worked in this industry who, yeah, they grow it all inside. So I don't think you would need pesticides and just using the soil of the earth. I'm sure you can buy certain soils that don't contain any of that stuff. But also, if you were to plant any plant in soil versus just in stupid dirt here in Arizona anyway, I feel you'd probably get better results growing it in the soil because there's nutrients and stuff that helps the plants grow. So I don't know, demonizing soil like this is so bizarre to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is science to this that she's going going somewhere with it, but to me, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Why are we doing this? Humanity has been growing plants in soil, in dirt, outside for millennia, and we're all still surviving as a species. So like, somehow I think it's okay to eat food that is planted in dirt. I'm just saying.
There's also a lot of misdirection through marketing. So still the CBD in the hemp industry has not caught up. So literally you see it on the street corners, you see it in gas stations, and these products, while they have promising marketing, slogans and things, there's no value that's in the actual bottle. There's so many products out there right now that basically promise to do something, but they don't do anything at all.
So that's why you buy from a dispensary if you can. If it is available to you, these products are regulated. They are quality assured. A lot goes into the marijuana industry, at least in the United States. Like, I feel like, you want to talk about misdirection, I feel like she's kind of misleading people by essentially saying, like, even if you go to a dispensary, all those products are shit. I'm sorry. I've been a dispensary customer for years, and I know that shit works. Have I ever had any of it tested for heavy metals? No. But, if we're gonna sit here and say everyone's being dishonest and misleading people, and it's like, it seems like there's gotta be some sort of dishonesty going on in this presentation.
It's really up to the manufacturer to take it upon themselves to set the standard for quality control and to be truthful about what's actually in the bottle. So we discovered that with my last company, but you know what else, you guys, there's the big CBD lie, all right? And this is literally all the marketing jargon that's been thrown around the last 6-7 years. And this really blew my mind as well. So let me just show you guys.
I don't think she has enough tabs open.
The best soil for growing hemp is located overseas. That's false. It's not necessarily, first of all, soil free, I think, is the way to go. Growing hemp in organic soil is better. So when I met this guy that created these products, I said, well, organic is good. And he said, no, organic's not better either, because honestly, if you can grow it in a pharmaceutical grade sterile environment that's closed, that's going to be better. That's going to actually make the product 100 times more pure. And even if it has a certification, it does not mean that the soil is organic. The soil can still be full of contaminants. Growing hemp outside with no pesticides is best. Well, that's not true either, because once they're infested with bugs. Now, we used to say to ourselves all the time that hemp is naturally pest repellent. That's a marketing lie. And I didn't even know that, because I was one of the people that were saying that, because that's what we were told.
Okay, but again, you ran a hemp company and you couldn't even research that. But also, yeah, it's kind of gross to think about, like, there's probably ground up bugs and stuff in the products I'm consuming. But I mean, honestly, it probably won't hurt you. The ground up stuff, it gets dried out, like, it's not like there's like big juicy beetles in your pre-roll, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously there's like hemp oils and stuff like that too, but like, I just feel like this is almost fear-mongering. Y'all might think I'm gross for this too, but I'm just like, I don't see this as a huge deal. Like, oh no, a bug got into my CBD oil or something. It's just like, whatever. It's really not. Is it gross to think about? Yeah, but like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's like that detrimental. To me, it's like out of sight, out of mind. If I don't think about those things. But when you do think about those things, there's bugs in fucking everything. They use ground up bugs to color shit. Like, candies and stuff are colored with ground up bugs. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this is that big of a concern. It's just being used to be like, ew, you're eating bugs. And it's like, okay, I think this is all like a marketing ploy to stoke fear and be like, you guys, if you're gonna take CBD, you have to take this stuff. Just as a little precursor here, wait until you see the cost of these products, because it's insane.
And so the fact is, there's hundreds of species that are on these plants. Colorado State University actually did a study on this, and here it is right here. There are literally so many different worms and bugs and nasty things growing in our hemp that we did not know about.
But like, you don't think that they're on literally every other plant we eat too? Again, I just feel like this is scare tactics. And the woolly bears, come on, look at the woolly bears. They're cute. There's nothing scary about that. How could you be scared of a woolly bear? Look at them.
Look at this. There is a nasty bugs up in our hemp, y'all. Look at this. And here's what happened. What's going on here? And you know what's gross?
She's like, what is going on here? Who the fuck put ladybugs fucking on a leaf? Oh, that's funny that they chose that picture. Hey, let's put some ladybug corn on here.
So it's better to have it grown in an environment where bugs are not, right?
She's making it sound like we're the only company in the world that does this. And I know as a fact that that's not true, because I literally know people who have grown plants indoors for the same exact usages that she's describing here, that she's trying to sell, and those get sold to dispensaries. I don't know what I know You know what? I take that back. I know exactly what she's trying to do. She's trying to be misleading and manipulative, just like all of these fucking MLM people are.
Cancer is just everywhere, especially in Iowa. Why? Well, that's a big farm area, right? And they're saying basically that all these cancers at early ages that are coming now through to brain cancer, to whatever, colon cancer, you name it, is being linked to herbicides, glyphosate, and all the things that they are spraying on our food.
Okay, but it says nitrates are also tied to cancer, particularly when consumed in drinking water. This whole, I mean, and it's bad. It's terrible. Cancer is scary. But I feel like she's bringing this up again to fearmonger, to be like, if you buy CBD, THC, if you buy tinctures and salves and whatever from anywhere else but me and my company, you're gonna get cancer. I hate it. I hate this. I hate this here, because while it is true that there's probably plenty of things that we do as humans that is causing cancer to be more prevalent than ever, I absolutely believe that we are doing that. The way she's doing this is really singling out this one industry as if this doesn't affect basically all industries. And not that that's like a good thing, but I'm just saying, like, if you were to cut out whatever CBD products you're taking now and then to replace them with what Jenna is selling now, it sounds like you're still going to be at high risk of getting cancer from all the other things around us. Also, I saw a news report today that said that the current presidential administration is looking into, would it be unbanning asbestos? And we all know that asbestos causes cancer. Like, that's been well established, and apparently that's coming back.
So you go to the dispensary, guess what? I bet you it has been sprayed thoroughly. And so you can sometimes even tell, because if you consume the products and you get a headache right away or something like that, you can pretty much tell where that's coming from.
I have never gotten a headache from any of the THC products, CBD products, anything that I've ever consumed. That has never happened to me. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. There are people who can't take THC, they can't take CBD, they can't take hemp in general. I think THC especially, like in my last video, we were talking about Ariel, which is also a hemp company. And a lot of you guys were saying that you can't take them because you get paranoia and anxiety and all that stuff. And I know that's real. Like I know people personally who experience that whenever they consume THC. So like I know that's a thing, and I'm sure that there are people who do get headaches from using THC and CBD and marijuana and whatever. As someone who strictly has only, I'm pretty sure, unless there's something I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the only marijuana I've ever consumed has come from a dispensary. And knowing that out here anyway, the dispensaries are getting their supply from indoor growers, she literally was just like, if you go to the dispensary, I guarantee it's all been sprayed by pesticides. How can you guarantee that? Like, she was getting her HempWorks supply from a farm in Kentucky, which most likely was outdoors. So it's almost like she's like, well, this is how we did it when I owned a hemp company, so therefore every company must be like this. This must be how every hemp product is made. And it's like, it's super not, though. I don't get it.
So what is Reaction? So Reaction is a frequency-based hemp wellness line powered by FCE, which is full cryosonic extraction. I for sure have never heard of cannabis being extracted through sound frequencies, and cryo meaning cold. So cold temperatures and sound frequencies is how this plant is being extracted, and how it's being grown is through aeroponics.
Extracting with sound frequencies? Fine. I mean, I don't know one way or another how exactly all this works, but cryosonic extraction is like cold. It refers to the process of extracting something by freezing it. Apparently they use it in wine making, cataract removal. It does specifically say in botanical extractions they do it with cannabis to preserve cannabinoids and terpenes. Let's see if I search like sound frequency extraction. This says ultrasonic extraction, also known as sonication, is a method for extracting compounds like CBD from hemp using high-frequency sound waves, which creates microscopic bubbles that implode and generate shear forces that break down plant cell walls. This allows for the release of cannabinoids and other valuable components into a solvent. Listen, I'm not a scientist. I don't fucking know. I'm sure it's a thing.
So aeroponic versus soul. Aero meaning air. So it's grown in the air. That's amazing right there. Let me see if you guys can see this.
So she's playing this video and the audio is coming through what sounds like her computer speakers, and then she's just playing it through the microphone. You can barely understand it. I'm gonna skip through this whole part. But what I'm seeing is there's a company called Heilscher Ultrasonics, and they have a machine specifically made to ultrasonically extract compounds from botanicals. So this isn't their machine. This isn't, what is it? Reaction's machine. This is a machine that like manufacturers and stuff can buy and use in their own own manufacturing facilities. Like, this is not necessarily unique to this company.
So what is aeroponic cultivation? Why dirt is by definition dirty? So I want to show you guys just this. This is basically what it looks like in real life. So you saw the animation, just how, what is the difference between soil grown and aeroponics. But I want to show you this logo real quickly here. So this is what aeroponic growing looks like. You see these roots are actually under a closed environment. It's dark, so they can grow. The roots have to be in the darkness, but the leaves and everything is obviously under the lights. And so what happens is the roots are getting fine misted, sprayed with all the nutrients in the water that they need. And what happens is this is so sustainable that as we're feeding the roots the water and the nutrients, it's coming out through condensating through the plant leaves itself, and it's creating more water. So this is the only way of growing hemp where we're actually producing more water than we're using. So then this water can be then recycled and used on the roots again. It's a self-sustaining way of growing, which is just incredible.
I actually think this is really cool. Like, seeing a plant with its roots growing outside of soil is like really interesting to me. I think this is fascinating. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say that Reaction is the only company that does this, I think she's just being dishonest about it. See, yeah, they're showing a video of the indoor facility, and yeah, that's pretty much what a lot of my friend who used to post stories about their time working, growing cannabis, look like a very similar setup there.
So it was engineered by a former NASCAR engineer who was inspired by Disney's Epcot Gardens, which is insane. He was just there and he's like, I wonder if we can grow hemp the same way. And that was 15 years ago.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that someone at Disney, an engineer with Disney, came up with this idea, allegedly, apparently. So this isn't unique. Someone else was doing this first with other plants. I wonder if we can do hemp this way. I mean, if you can do other plants this way, I'm sure. Yep. Look at that. This just isn't like a proprietary method.
So let's talk about the extraction, because this is another thing that really separates this product from everything else out there on the market. Literally nobody else on the planet is doing it this way. So we don't call it even CBD. Everybody's talking about CBD work. We have FCE, which is full cryosonic extract.
So like I was saying, there are machines that companies can buy. I'm sure they're very expensive, but they can buy them and use them in their manufacturing plants, and they're not made by these people. It's not like they're the only people in the world who has these machines. They're not. There are other companies, maybe not hemp companies. If the machines exist elsewhere in different manufacturing plants for other things, how can you sit here and say we're the only ones who do this?
This is what the extraction looks like.
So yeah, I'm gonna be skipping through this also, but this video here is, I guess, like a demonstration of how it works. But again, like, the video is really, really hard to hear playing through her speakers, so I'm not going to make you guys sit through all of it, but we can at least look at these videos that I guess are some sort of way to see how this is done.
Okay, so I don't know what level of genius he had to be to figure that out, but I don't know, like, it's just mind-blowing that this even exists and this technology is here. It is literally next generation, and the best part is nobody knows about it yet. You guys...
Nobody? I don't know, because Google seems to know.
So we want to know why this works with our body. If you are familiar with the endocannabinoid system, then you're going to be a pro at the next couple slides. If you've never heard of this before, let me just be the first to tell you it is the main electrical system in your body, and it balances all other systems. You have a digestive system, respiratory, neurological system. Each of these work on their own, and they also work in conjunction with the endocannabinoid system, which is responsible for creating that homeostasis in your body.
Okay, so when you hear her say stuff like this, just know that I feel like this is another kind of misleading topic that people talk about when they're trying to sell you CBD and stuff. Yes, our bodies have an endocannabinoid system. Yeah, our bodies naturally have that. Our bodies naturally produce and use cannabinoids. I think the misleading part of all of this is when you hear people talk about this, and she's going to do it right now, they try to make it sound like you need to be using CBD, something with all these cannabinoids and terpenes and whatever the hell. You need these things in order for your endocannabinoid system to work. No, you don't. It works on its own. Now, cannabis, I think, does like bind to certain receptors or something. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a biologist. I don't really know how all this works, but my understanding is that with or without cannabis use, the endocannabinoid system is still going to be working in your body, with or without it. So I think maybe using cannabis might like enhance some parts of the endocannabinoid system, but you don't need to be using cannabis in order to have the system working in your body. I think it's really misleading the way that they present this information. So let's listen.
This definitely definitely matters because we have receptors throughout all of our body. We've got CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors. Now, if you have a spine, you have an ECS. If your dog has a spine, he or she has a ECS. Cats also have ECS. Anything with a spine has an ECS. So it's important to know that if you are looking to bring natural balance and rhythm to your body, it's likely that you could be deficient, literally deficient in cannabis. You need this. You need this in your life. You need it in your body to bring balance to all the systems in your body.
Everyone fucking thinks that they need more balance in their life, or like, my body's like, it could be working better, like, and you hear stuff like this. If you've ever had a thought in your mind, like, maybe my body isn't working to its fullest potential, maybe it could work better. When you hear someone like Jenna say this, it's going to make you be like, oh shit, maybe that's the missing piece to this whole puzzle. And I'm sorry, listen, I love cannabis. It has helped me a lot in my personal life. I've talked about it quite a lot. I almost never do it recreationally. I mean, sometimes I do if I'm like camping or something out in nature or whatever, but like at home, I take a gummy every night because it helps me sleep. It helps me not have dreams, so I get a deeper sleep. And also my dreams I have are not always pleasant. So I prefer to just kind of knock myself out and go to sleep and not dream, which is why I take a gummy every night. It helps me get more rest. And that has helped me a lot with like dealing with traumatic shit in my past, because now I don't dream about those things. It's great. So yeah, I owe a lot of my mental health stuff to cannabis because it's helped me in my sleep cycles and stuff. You know, I am not knocking it at all. I think it does help people. If it's something that your body can tolerate, I think it's a great thing. I think it should be legal everywhere. I think people should be using it for plenty of different things if they can. That all being said, I feel like she is saying this to sell you a product, not because this is like based in truth. Maybe she's taking a grain of truth and then just like stretching it really far to make you believe that you need this specific product that has been cryogenically and sonically extracted, like you need the specific one. It's misleading. It's wrong. Honestly, I feel like this whole thing is really unethical, what we're watching here. Once you see the price tag, I know I've mentioned this before, but once you see the price tag on these products, you're gonna get it. You're gonna see why I'm saying this is unethical, because it's insane.
The ECS is the body's regulatory system for mood, pain, sleep, memory, inflammation, focus, all of those things to keep everything in harmony. You literally have receptors that are needing the plant.
Oh my God. Look at what it says. Whole hemp plant activates the endocannabinoid system. Your endocannabinoid system is already in your body. You don't need a hemp plant to make your endocannabinoid system work. This is so misleading. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know any of this shit. But I know enough to know that you don't need cannabis so that your endocannabinoid system works in your body.
So you can see the ECS is central to all of these other systems.
So like every system ever.
When I asked the founder and the creator of these products, I said, hey, do we have a broad spectrum? And he said, absolutely not. And the reason is because we don't want that. We want the whole plant. And if people are afraid of a little THC that's already naturally occurring in the hemp plant, then this product, you know, maybe not for them.
There are legal limits to what a hemp product can contain in THC. And we learned this from my coverage on Ariel recently. If you are selling even just a little bit of THC in it, might be more than the legal limit. If you're selling those, there are certain states that have like Delta 8 THC, Delta 9 THC banned. Arizona is one of them, my state, even though marijuana is legal here. For example, like I was saying with Ariel, if I was a distributor in Ariel, it would be illegal for me to buy their full spectrum products because it contains Delta 8 and Delta 9. Basically, she's saying, oh, people don't want to buy it because they're just scared of a little THC. Well, maybe, but also, that aside, what is the legality of this? This needs to be made very clear. If you're going to be selling products that do contain THC, you need to like produce the like certificate of analysis to prove that there's not as much THC in this product that would make it illegal to sell, because technically it would be drug trafficking if you're selling a THC product that is over the legal limit across state lines. That is drug trafficking. So for her to be like, oh yeah, some people like don't want to take our products because they're just scared of a little bit of THC, and it's not even that. Like there's plenty of people who can't have THC, they can't fail a drug test, you know? So it's not just being scared of THC. There's a lot of things that go into it, but the legality of this, how much THC are we talking? How much is in these products? Is that under the legal limit? And are you sure you can sell these all over the country? Ariel got away with doing it for a while until they caught some heat, and then they just rebranded and took any THC mention off of all their branding, even though allegedly there was some third-party lab testing that showed that there was in fact Delta 8 and Delta 9 find THC in those products. So, or I think maybe it was just Delta 8, but regardless, if it's happened to Ariel and they were trying to hide the THC, these people are like, yeah, there's some THC in our product. Okay, are we sure that it's legal to be selling it then?
He will never want to do a broad spectrum because he really believes that you need all of these really to be super beneficial to the human body. Full spectrum extract. This is what we're probably most used to.
I mean, generally broad spectrum is what you see. I'm sure HempWorks had a full spectrum product. Ariel did too. Those are the ones they got in trouble for. But broad spectrum, I think, is when you're shopping just CBD, you don't want any THC. Broad spectrum is a pretty well-known term, I guess, which I know HempWorks has used before. So she's going to sit here and be like, broad spectrum, I don't know, it's not even that great. And it's like, weren't you selling those for like 8 years? But yeah, full spectrum is the one that does contain like Delta 8, and Ariel got in trouble for selling it. And so they rebranded all their content and took away the full spectrum situation so they wouldn't get in trouble. It's like, oh, I don't trust any of these people. So I'm gonna be skipping through this slide here, but I'll just show it on the screen. This is what she claims, like, our products have none of this bad stuff, and every other product has ground up bugs and heavy metals and blah 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 blah, but we don't. I don't think this is true. I mean, maybe it's true that their product doesn't contain these things, but I don't think it's true and fair to say that there's no other product that can say the same thing.
I'm not going to say all these names. I'm just going to let y'all look at this. But basically, if you can keep all the components of the hemp plant, then you're going to have a full spectrum.
Oh my God. They've got like HIV on this. Is this supposed to be like a cure? They're just saying it's a CBD wheel. This stuff is good for you. If you have HIV and AIDS and you take CBD, THC, and THCA, I don't know what THCA is. What is it supposed to do? Are you trying to tell me that you're going to be cured of HIV? Because it's very manageable now these days and it's not a death sentence like it used to be. But as far as I know, I don't really think there's like a full-on cure for HIV. So what are you saying? Muscular dystrophy? That shit's scary. You can't sit here and say, oh, well, yeah, well, CBD and THC is gonna make you feel better. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, it might manage symptoms, but like, I don't know. I also take CBD and THC before I go to bed. It's got OCD on here, and I have an impulse control disorder. Despite me using THC and CBD every single night, because it helps with my sleep, I still have an impulse control disorder. So I don't know what you're trying to tell me here.
You're going to hit every angle of your body that you possibly can.
Parkinson's, Alzheimer's.
Say that. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be real compliant right now.
It sounds like a cure-all. And as we should know, cure-alls cure nothing. Might help you support yourself in those symptoms though. Like, sure, yeah, I'll give her that. But I feel like, again, that was also a misleading slide.
So this isn't just hemp. It's plant intelligence and it's spiritual technology. I love that because we're using frequencies in the extraction.
Spiritual technology? What? What the fuck are you talking about?
So it's for people who are really ready to tune into what it feels like to be well. So why reaction versus, it's basically wellness reinvented, science and spirit and sovereignty. This is what drew me through this brand so much. So let's talk a little bit about the reaction line and what is available right now. We recently added more products to the cart, so you guys definitely want to check that out.
I'm just gonna pause it here. Check this out. 30 capsules for $150. Now, is that one per day? Is that a month's supply? Because, I mean, that's still a lot for a month's supply. And what even are these capsules? I don't know. A tincture for $150. Relief cream salves for $90. My husband's usually the one that goes to the dispensary. And so I texted him while I was preparing to film this video. And I just asked him, like, how much do you usually spend? Because he's bought me a salve before. I was like, how much does it cost? And he sent me like a list of a lot of them. Basically, like, for example, there's a lotion that has 100 milligrams of THC and it also has CBD for $28 from whatever dispensary he always goes to. There's some that are more expensive. There's a $60 one that has 650 milligrams, which is so much, but not a lot of CBD. Then there's one that has mostly CBD and a little less THC, 37 milligrams for $44. The most expensive one on here is the $60 one that has 600 milligrams, 624 to be exact, of THC, not a lot of CBD, but that's $60. They're selling a salve for $90. And actually, I am curious to know the details on all that. Okay, here is their website. Here we go. Here's the $90 salve. 30 grams of 2,100 milligrams of FCE. What does that mean? How can you have grams of milligrams? What? Sorry, I'm flailing and hitting my microphone. What? Like, just tell me how much CBD and how much oh my god, look at how badly photoshopped this is. Oh, that's and it's like supposed to be dipping it in the jar and the lid is on. Guys, the lid is on. Oh, that's terrible. It doesn't say, like, how much CBD is in this. Let's see. This $150 tincture. FCE is the next evolution of CBD. 30 milliliters / 1,000 milligrams of FCE. I think FCE is just what they're calling their CBD. So 1,000 milligrams in this whole thing. But that's CBD though, that's not THC. Or no, the FCE is, oh my god, they have so many things, I'm already confused. I think the FCE is like the whole encompassing all of the 120 cannabinoids and whatever the hell. 120 cannabinoids, amino acids, proteins, terpenes, and over 600 total hemp plant compounds. As a whole, you get 1,000 milligrams of it. Is that what I'm understanding? Why is it so hard to just be like, this whole bottle has 100 milligrams of THC? Like, or I guess it wouldn't be THC because they wouldn't be able to sell it. Anyway, it's confusing, and I feel like this is intentionally confusing. We're nearing the end of this, so bear with me. Let's just get through it. But still, I mean, the cost of these products. Do you see now why I'm like, this is just wrong?
The FCE capsules, these are life-changing as well. And I would just say that from what the founder told me is everybody needs to be on the capsules first. This is why we launched them first before we launch anything else.
Everyone needs to be on the capsules first, which is $150 apparently per month, unless you're taking 2 capsules a day. Oh, let me see what the dose is actually. We'll go back to the website. It says 30-day supply, so I guess 1 per day. Okay, so a 30-day supply is $150. I mean, that's a lot, and that's just one product. They obviously have multiple products here, and you really think that they're not going to try to convince you that you need to be using all of them? Please.
And that's because you really need these built up in your system. You need to take these every single day, and you can take them in a variety of different ways. I take 2 in the morning and I take 2 at night, and that literally just...
So she takes 4 capsules every single day. That's a week supply and some change. So you're trying to tell me if there's 4 weeks in a month, she's probably buying 4 bottles of this per month? That's $600 a month. Are you kidding me? There is not one fucking person in the middle class who can afford that. It's disgusting. And that's just the capsules. Now imagine what she's spending to use the rest of this shit too, which she probably does. It's so nasty. It's so wrong.
But if you're struggling with something more severe, you can take more. You can take up to 4 times a day, depending on the severity of what you're experiencing.
That's not what the website says. The website says the dosage is 1 capsule and it's a 30-day supply. And mind you, the cost of this, I just feel like if you go to a dispensary and you buy stuff without THC, like just CBD products, it is cheaper than something that's THC. CBD generally does run cheaper than anything containing THC. If this is supposed to just be CBD stuff, I'm like, how do you justify these prices? What, because you extract it with cold and sound, and that's supposed to be enough to be like, yep, that makes sense, that's worth spending hundreds of dollars a month on this? No.
If you take them throughout the day, you're going to really feel the difference. And it's called reaction because you literally feel the reaction. And I used to say it's not what you feel on CBD, it's what you don't feel. But with these products, it is what you feel. You will feel amazing.
That makes me think that there's got to be some kind of psychological component to this, which is where THC would come in. And then that makes me question the legality. How much THC is in these products, dude? Seriously.
So this is what you're going to have as your foundation. You're going to take that every single day. If anything breaking through, let's say, you can take the tinctures on top of that.
What does that mean?
And the relief cream is obviously for topical. The mission for me has always been to help people feel better.
You've only been using these products for less than 2 months because you were in HempWorks before this. You were the co-founder of a multi-million-dollar hemp company. You cannot sit here and say that you have personally been healed. She's born from personal healing, celiac, inflammation, exhaustion. You cannot say you have been healed of these things, especially just in 2 months. How can anybody trust what you are saying here? Anyone with a fucking brain can be like, I don't know, Jenna, that seems a little questionable. You're moving a little fast here with language like that.
We're trying to do all this stuff with bamboo. We're trying to do all this stuff with, tree-free this and that, and we're going down the right path. However, bamboo's not the answer for paper and plastics. It's just not. And hemp can do everything that bamboo can do and everything that timber can do.
Okay, but like bamboo grows really fast, so it's like easy to make stuff out of it because it grows so fast. Anyway, Reclaim Lip Balm. Why do you need CBD in a lip balm? And then how much is that little tube? Probably like $30. If I had to guess, let's go look. Let's see how close I am. Am I missing it? Dude, I'm not even seeing it. I don't think they even sell this shit. Maybe they're coming out with it still. I don't know. But they're advertising it like it's something you need. CBD lip balm, full spectrum extra. Wait a minute. Full spectrum. Didn't she say that the CEO guy was like, we don't want to do full spectrum, but the lip balm literally says full spectrum extract? Okay, I thought we weren't doing full spectrum, but all right.
So I just want to just say something real quickly about the price on the products. 1% is going towards the hemp industry into supporting projects that deal with manufacturing.
Bitch, the entire profit is going into the hemp industry. What are you talking about? When you sell a hemp product, that goes back to the company that manufactures the hemp product. What do you mean 1%? You mean all of the profit? I mean, except for the profit that like goes into the CEO's pockets and the distributors' pockets and stuff. But like 1%, it's almost like it's a charity. Bitch, no. If you buy a hemp product, you are contributing money to the hemp industry. What?
So I want to just cover real quickly before we wrap this up. There is an affiliate opportunity. This is not an MLM. It is just an affiliate. It's a 3-tier affiliate program.
That's interesting. So it's not an MLM, but you're showing me 3 different levels here to your compensation plan. No, they're not levels, they're tiers. Okay, then it's multi-tier marketing, bitch. Okay, so when you recruit, so there is recruiting and team building here. Check this out. You recruit someone personally, you get 5% of that sale. And then if that person recruits somebody else, you also get 5% of whatever sales they make. I'm seeing 3 levels here. That is multi-level marketing. What are we doing here? You cannot call this an affiliate program. Affiliates have codes and they receive commissions when sales are made. That is what affiliate marketing is. This is adding a pyramid scheme to an affiliate program, in my opinion. You cannot sit here and say this isn't an MLM and then show us multi-levels to your fucking compensation plan. What are you talking about? Girl, I think your brain is melting. Maybe you should stop taking 4 fucking capsules of this shit per day because I think your brain is melting.
You can earn money by sharing the reaction products. There's no monthly minimums, just resonance. So on your first level of orders, you're going to get 15% on every sale. Second tier sales will be 5% and third tier sales will be 5% as well. So it's more than a business, it's a movement. And honestly, I love the structure because we're focusing on helping people. We're focusing on getting the products out there. We're not focused so much on building teams and things like that.
Why wouldn't you? See, this is what every MLM says. So why would this be any different? It's super not. Sure, there are MLMs that pay like 10 levels deep. I actually think My Daily Choice did pay 10 levels deep. This new one you're in, ma'am, that's still multiple levels. It's not different. Maybe because there's not ranks? I don't know necessarily that having like set ranks and stuff is what makes an MLM an MLM. As far as I see it, if there are multi-levels to your compensation plan, which there are, it is a multi-level marketing company. And yes, you are incentivized to recruit, to build people beneath you, because when all those people make sales, you are making percentages of their sales. I don't know how else to describe this. It seems so obvious.
Thank you guys so much for hopping on, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I will see you guys all on our next call. Love y'all. Bye, guys.
All right. Well, that's what that was. So, I don't know. Y'all, let me know what you think. I think that this is a misleading, manipulative, pseudoscience-y bullshit scam. That's what I personally think this is. I think this is an MLM that an ex-MLM mogul is trying to be like it's not an MLM when it totally is. Her having been someone who has literally run an MLM before, you would think she would know the difference between an MLM and an affiliate marketing. And I think she does. I think she's just playing stupid. Honestly, with all of this, I think she's just playing stupid, because how can you run a hemp business for 8 years and be like, oh, there were things I didn't know? I don't believe that. I think you are an opportunistic person who, it wasn't her choice to leave HempWorks. She was basically told she had to leave HempWorks. I don't know the details behind that, but she had no other option. She's like, well, hemp is what I do, so let's find another company to fucking join, and here she is. And now she's just like regurgitating all of their marketing materials, like as if she's some sort of expert on this shit, and you'd think she would be. I don't think that this is an honest presentation at all. I'm honestly like disgusted at how manipulative this whole thing was. So that's what I think. Y'all let me know down below what you think. And with that, let's just thank some people. I just want to thank my patrons and my members. If you were raging alongside me this whole time, thank you for being here and making it this far. But yeah, no, I do need to thank my patrons and my members. So the list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server. We have a postcard club, early access to new videos sometimes whenever I'm able to do that, and sometimes even more than that. So if any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/SavannahMarie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships. Just whatever works for you, works for me. So with that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Nutton, Kessie Drew, KJ Barnes, Leanne, Marie Silver, Bug, Caroline Reed, Daniel Urena, Maddie Darley, Ray, AJC, Luciana Valiente, Emily Jean, Miss Blue, Hannah Moe, Alex Gollum, Love to Be Evil, Liz Sahu, Charcity, Evan Adler, Kelsey Nicole, LaSalle Story, Fluffy Duckbutt 24 Elaine, Ferd Turgeson Esquire, Just Mark, Baby Pink Pearl, Alice Wagner, Fallon Harris, Jessica Billhart, and Emion. And to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. Even if you're not a financial supporter, thank you for making it to the end of this video. Like I was saying before, it just means a lot. And with that, I will see you guys with the next one. Bye.